Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I am going to solve one problem from super mesh analysis for the subject name called electric circuit analysis, especially for Triple E and ECE students. It may help now. So before that, you should understand what is super mesh. So super mesh is nothing but common current source between two loops. You can see here common current source of 5 amperes between two loops, loop 1 and loop 2. You can also call this as mutual current source. If there is any mutual current source, then you can call that circuit as super mesh circuit or else super mesh current. So once again, a super mesh is nothing but the common current source between two loops. Okay, so now let's solve one problem from this. Find I1, I2, I3 by using super mesh analysis. You can see they are only given the direction of current and direction of loop also. So here this is I1 and they are only given here there is a I2 and in this loop it will be having I3. You need to find these values I1, I2, I3. So before that observe there is a 5 ampere of current source between two loops, that is loop 1 and loop 2. So this is super mesh problem, 5 amperes. So how can you see the super mesh? You can see the super mesh. You can observe the super mesh loop and this 5 ampere is super mesh current. So one equation you are getting from super mesh itself. That is from super mesh current, you can get one equation. So how we are writing now? This 5 ampere is given by, that is from super mesh, that is from this 5 amperes. You need to write one equation. So 5 ampere is downward, so that this 5 ampere is given by, you can observe this 5 ampere is in between loop 1, that is I1, and loop 2 and I2. So here you observe the direction of loop currents. I1 is also flowing clockwise, that is nothing but downward, but I2 is flowing upward. So I can write here 5 ampere equals plus I1 because I1 is same as the direction of 5 amperes minus I2 because I2 is flowing opposite to the direction of 5 amperes. So that from super mesh you'll get one equation, that is your I1 is flowing downward, and here I2 is flowing, this is I2, and this is flowing upward with respect to second loop, and here I3 is flowing, this is I3. So that 5 amperes from super mesh you can write it as 5 equals I1 minus I2, or also I can write it as I1 minus I2 equals to 5, and this is equation number 1. So once after writing the super mesh, next you need to write super mesh equation from super mesh loop. So super mesh loop is nothing but you are removing this super mesh branch. So removing 5 amperes and 1 ohm branch, then you're applying KVL to this super mesh. See, this is a super mesh loop current. So first you're writing equation from super mesh, that is 5, that is nothing but 5 equals I1 minus I2, I already explained, or else you can read it here I1 minus I2 equals to 5. This is equation 1. Then you are applying KVL to super mesh loop by neglecting this super mesh loop. Okay, see here you are applying super mesh. KVL, sorry, you are applying KVL. Before that, we'll follow the rules. For first loop, I know the direction of current and loop. I'll mark the polarity here plus minus, and here also it is plus minus, but it is neglected because of super mesh. Similarly here I2 is flowing in clockwise direction again, plus to minus it is flowing. Here also plus to minus it is flowing. Similarly, I3 can observe clockwise direction, plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus. So now you apply KVL to super mesh. You already know the polarity here. This is plus and minus. Here current is flowing, that is plus and minus. Here also I2 is flowing, that is plus and minus. I2 is flowing plus and minus. So now I'll write the from super loop. From super loop, apply KVL. Apply KVL to super loop now. Can write. So I'll mark second polarity, that is plus 10. In some of the textbook they are using first polarity. Here I am using second polarity, and minus second polarity, see the direction, minus 1 into I1 minus I3, because both are opposite direction and the reference loop is 1 now. Similarly here, minus 3 into I2 minus I3. Similarly, minus 2 into I2 is flowing, minus 2 I2 equals to 0. So this is the equation from super mesh loop. So I'll rearrange now. 10 minus I1 plus I3 minus 3I2 plus 3I3 minus 2I2 equals to 0. So I1 only 1 is there, so that I'll write 10 minus I1. I2 can absorb minus 3 minus 2 you have minus 5I2 I3 plus I3 plus 3I3, that is nothing but plus 4I3 equals to 0. So now I'll rewrite this equation. I1 plus 5I2 minus 4I3 equals 10, and this is equation number 2. So one equation you're getting from super mesh. So I'll write from super mesh you're getting one equation, that is nothing but 5 ampere is given by I1 is flowing also. I1 is flowing same as the direction of 5 ampere, so that 5 equals plus I1 minus I3, I2 minus I2. I2 is flowing upward direction, so that opposite direction. So I'll write 5 equals to I1 minus I2. Similarly, one more equation we'll get it from loop 3, that is apply KVL to loop 3, that is nothing but I3 loop. So now for this I3 loop, okay, so you can see the I3 loop. I already marked the polarities based on the direction and loop now. If you want, I'll mark it again. So this is plus and minus, plus and minus, plus and minus. So based on the direction of loop, I'm marking second polarity, minus, minus, and minus. So I'm writing here minus 2 into I3 minus 3 into I3 minus I2, again minus 1 into I3 minus I1 equals to 0. I'm rearranging this again, minus 2I3 minus 3I3 plus 3I2 minus I3 plus I1 equals to 0. So I1 is only one I1 is there, so that I'll write now I1, I2, you can see only one I2, that is 3I2 plus 3I2 I3 minus 2 minus 3 minus 5 minus 1 minus 6 minus 6 I3 equals to 0. This is equation number 3. So now I'll solve the equation 1 and solve equation 1, 2, and 3 using calculator. Using calculator. So now I'll keep my calculator in equation mode, that is equivalent mode. Then I'll be having three unknowns. Here A1 is 1 from equation 1, A2 is minus 1, A3 is 0, and sorry, A1, B1, C1, then D1 is 5. Similarly, from second equation, 1, 5, minus 4, 10. From 3, 1, 3, minus 6, 0. So I can get the value of currents. I1 is nothing but I1 is 7.5 amperes and I2 is 2.5 amperes and I3 is 2.5 amperes. This is the solution. Okay. So I'll tell once again, there is one super mesh that is 5 amperes. So from super mesh, you're writing one equation that is 5 equals to I1 minus I2. Why it is I1 minus I2? Because I1 is flowing same as the direction of 5 amperes. So that plus 5 plus I1 minus I2 is nothing but 5 amperes that is flowing downward. So after writing the super mesh equation, by removing that super mesh branch, applying KVL, you can see the third circuit like this. You can apply KVL to here, you can get one more equation. Then for independent loop, we'll be applying one more KVL equation. You can get KVL, you can get third equation. So by solving these three equations, you're getting the value of unknown currents I1, I2, I3. A super mesh is nothing but a current source between two loops. Okay, that is nothing but super mesh, either dependent current source or independent current sources between the two loops, not as a source, not into a single loop. It should be in between two loops. So thank you so much. I hope you are understanding the problem. If you're having any doubts, feel free to write in a comment box. And also don't forget to subscribe and like and more share. Thank you.